So, radio, everyone, come on up and into standing. If you're listening along on any of the playlists, then feel free and just to hit play now. Anyone probably will do for tonight's class, just whatever teacher fancy. So we're going to bring heels together and bring toes together in centre, right in centre of the mat. From here, let's turn the toes out to 10 and 2. And let's take the heels out so that we're standing, grounding down and in parallel. Arms just become relaxed and just heavy just by your side. And we're going to start tonight just by shutting down at eyes. Letting the feet just melt just into the mat. Feeling as though we've got good grounding and good connection. With the eyes closed and with the arms heavy from here, we slide forwards onto big toes. And then we slowly and gently drop back onto heels. Testing the balance a little. And as we drop back onto the heels, we look to almost just get a bit of tightening just the front of the abdominals, almost just to stop us from falling. We glide back, slide forwards. The last one, and then we find just the center of the feet. We soften the back of the knees and we let the top half of the bodies just go. Head's heavy and arms are heavy. We can drop, hang and hold a couple breaths in and out. From here, the knees we bend, the tail tucks under, and we slowly, gently uncurl back up through the spine. Head is left to left, eyes open once you reach the top. From here, we take a breath in, drawing shoulders up and in towards ears. Breathing out, we relax, release, and let the shoulders melt down the back body. Breath in, we draw shoulders back up towards ears. Breathing out, we glide the shoulders down and away. Last time we draw up, we hold once we're up. So we're just gathering all the tension from anywhere else in the body to the shoulders. Deep breath in to hold. And we breathe out, relax, release, let those shoulders go, let those arms drop, arms become heavy. From here, everyone, let's sweep the arms up into the ceiling. We take a little stretch. We drop the hands behind the head in the center. From here, we're going to lift the chest, lift the upper body, let the head relax back into the hands. And then we'll think about arching through the upper back, letting the head drop down, arching. Reverse, let the chest lift the head up, open up through up top body. And then we'll arch to the top half, drop the head down. Last one, lifting chest up. Arching, dropping down. And then we let the hands melt away from back of head, and we slowly uncurl back up through the center. Head peels up last, and we're stopping and standing just nice and tall. We pop hands just onto hips, looking for the bony points right at the front. From here, we're going to tuck the tailbone under, and we kind of lengthen and flatten, become nice and long. From there, we then change, we lift the tail, we close off the lower back, take a little stretch to the tummy, and then we scoop that lower core, drop under. A couple each direction, just in your own time. And we just want to settle and just find just that kind of happy midpoint, just being aware where the pelvis is positioned, perhaps just popping a hand in just to feel just the arch just of that lower back. Hands stay just as they are, just here. Shoulders slide down, and we're going to peel up, lifting one heel up and off the mat, slowly, gently lowering. Other one lifts and lowers. Let's build this up a little so we start sloping over in the mid position. And think about those two bony points being perfectly steady. Imagine a little bubble at the belly button right in the center. You lift and lower. Hips stay still. You don't rock side to side here. Good. 3. We've 2. Last one. We drop on down. We're going to lift the left heel and let the right arm lengthen, left arm drop down. And then we roll through the body to change. We take toy soldiers here, we squeeze through the back body. Those hips, they stay nice and steady, and we change, 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 change. Got 5. We've 4, we've 3, we've 2, last one, and we come down, settle, center up, and down. Little kind of shake, and just loosen up. Find and take a hold just of the hand weights for me just when you're ready. So we're going to take a hold of the hand weights. We're going to hold the weights today a little like that little microphone. The palms is turned just towards just the hips. We stay grounded just down through the mat, and we're going to take a bicep curl as we take a heel lift. We relax, release and lower. We take that little bicep curl, heel lift, relax, release and lower. So we're just tuning in just to keep a nice kind of controlled pace. So we lift and lower. We're strong at the ankles, don't let them drop out at the top. And we lower. Back of the neck is long, shoulders slide down and away from the ears. And we curl and we release. Curl, release. Curl, release. Strong through the backs of the legs and the fronts of the arms. We've got 5 here. Release. We've 4. Release. 3. Release. 2. Release. Last one. Release. Relax. Drop on down. Now from here, the palms stay just facing in just towards the hips. We're going to send the bottom back. We sweep the hands forward. Weight comes out in front of the shoulders, and we squeeze and press to come on up. Bottom goes back to the back edge of the mat and squeeze to come up. We sink down and up. Have a little peek down at knees as we do this one, and make sure they aren't dropping in together. Keep the knees over the feet. We're down and up. Down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. We've 5 and up, we've 4 and up, 3 and up, 2 and up. Last one, come on up. We take a little slide just back, just let the bottom kind of slide back. The upper half of the body, it's almost as though it kind of peers, as though we were peering over the kind of edge of a pond. And the arms, they just drop just down by our side. We hold here, both arms just long. And we're going to take a single arm roll. Squeeze shoulder blade into spine. Elbow comes up to ceiling. We relax and release. Other side, draw on up. Relax and release. We draw on up and release, lift, release, lift, release. We've got 3, we release. We've 2, release. Last one, release. Double arms together. We squeeze the shoulder blades together as we draw the elbows up and relax and release. A little bit, imagine like you were kind of pulling a big rubber band up towards the chest, and then you were relaxing, releasing, letting it go. We squeeze the shoulder blades into the center. The back stays nice and flat. We squeeze and release. Squeeze, release. We've got 3. We've 2. Last one. Arms come down. We melt on up from here, coming back up and just standing up just nice and tall. We keep ourselves now just in just that parallel position. Arms drop down and by your side, palms staying in towards the thighs. And from here, we take a lateral raise out and slowly in. If that feels a little bit much for your shoulders this evening, we can take just a little bend at the elbow and let the elbows come out and in. That will feel just that little bit more comfortable. If we can, we glide out and come in low. Glide out and in, out and in. Body shape stays really strong. Back of the neck is really long. Tailbone tucks under. Arms glide out. We've got 5. We've 4. We've 3. We've 2. Last one, arms come out, we hold them out straight. We rotate the palms up towards the ceiling, and from wherever we are, we're going to take a little high bicep curl, hands come into shoulders, and we control the arms out straight. We curl into shoulders, glide out nice and straight. Okay, keep those shoulders away from ears, don't let them creep up as we work here. Curl in, release, in, release. 5 here. We've 4. We've 3. We've 2. Last one, drop those arms on out. We bring the heels together so that we're now standing with the arms wide and the toes turned out to 10 and 2. Slide those hands in about 45 degrees and we take a double shoulder shrug and a slow relax and release. A double shoulder shrug, relax and release. Shoulder shrug on up to ears, we relax and release and drop down. We shrug on up and release. Shrug, release. Now those arms are probably feeling a little heavy. If you need to take a quick break, just do. We've got 3, release. 2, release. Last one, release. Arms draw in, make a little T shape. Last little bit of effort from the arms. And overhead press with heel raise and come back down. We press on up and drop back down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. We've got 5, drop down. We've 4, drop down. 3 and down. 2 and down. Last one, drop down. Arms go. And we just give them just a little roll and a little rock. Weights that can come down, just drop them to side. We won't need them again in standing. We keep ourselves in standing though for this next little one, so arms up and a little heavy, shake them on out. We sweep the hands up and towards the ceiling, we lengthen, and breathing out, we drop the hands behind the head as we take a rotation around to one side. A breath in, we come back up and through center. Breathing out, we drop down, we rotate, coming on to other side. Breath in and we stretch. Breathing out to drop down. Now we keep the hips facing forwards and the upper body turns and twists. We lengthen back up through center, we drop down and around. We almost with this one want to make every little movement a little bit kind of further around and we rotate just an extra inch with every rotation. Extra inch. Last one, dropping around. We come back up to center. Hands we stretch, we lengthen. And the upper body arches, we slide the hands forward, we bend a little through the knees. And we then just let the hands come just to place, just the palms just in the front of the thighs. From here, we lift the chest, lift the head, we look up and look out. We then arch and tuck tail under, arch the back, drop head. Lift the chest, lift the head, look up and look out. Arch the back, tuck the tail, drop the chin to chest. Last one each way. We lift the chest, we lift the head, look up and out. And we tuck the tailbone under, we arch to the back. We let the hands slide away from the thumb to the thighs. Tail tucked under. And we slowly, gently, carefully uncurl. Arms they get a little shake. And we're all done in standing. We're going to take yourself down and onto all fours on the mat. Let me just move my screen so that you can see me a little bit better as we kind of drop down and drop in. So coming down and onto all fours, we're going to need this evening your weights once we're on all fours. Oh, wrecking things. That looks better. I'm going to start on all fours by taking the weight just over and just into your right hand. So we've grounded down on all fours. We slide the shoulders away. Just to have just to show you back position, it's quite flat and quite neutral. With the right hand, we're going to take that weight up to the ceiling as we stretch, as we twist. We follow hands up and around and look to ceiling and look to hand. And then we're going to breathe out to feed the hand through and under as we twist and as we rotate, sending that hand through and under. A breath in and we open up again. It's almost as though we were tracking the weight with the hand. If it feels a little too much, if you don't enjoy working with the weight, you can do this one without. And we're working on our controlled thoracic or mid-back rotation. So as we lower that weight down, we don't let it just drop, we control all the way. Last one here. We glide on up. Breathing out, we feed through and under. And we come back just to center. Back to center and back onto all fours. This next little one is a little bit of a tough challenge tonight, everyone, so take it just at your own kind of pace and breathe. The basic position to start in is to start on all fours. If you want to challenge yourself, what we do is walk the hands a little bit further away and we drop the hips down so that we're more of a kind of half plank position. What we are going to do from here is we start with a lovely flat spine. We are going to bend the elbows and the elbows brush past the side of the ribs as we bow down to the mat. We then press and push back up to neutral. At the top we hold and then we take a little slide from here, arching back. Take a little rounding of the back. Don't let the head dip though, keep it there. We slide the shoulder blades back to the center to come back to neutral. And then we fold the arms, take that little bow down to the mat, press back up on all fours. And then again, we let the shoulders slide apart and away. We pinch, draw them back, we hold, and we take another round. We take that little press, come back up, feeling that really work the back of the arms, and then a little bit of a control, which helps to work the shoulders at the top. If you need a little break, we can just take those hands a little closer, and you're more of a little kind of box that's folding and sliding. But we try and push ourselves with this one. We've not got many more left. Really feeling it work back of arms and triceps. Last one, wherever you are. And we come back, drop from here, just the hips just onto the heels, spread and walk the hands out, and we let the head drop down, letting head make contact with the mat. We hold in a child's pose. If that forehead hasn't quite made it to the mat this evening, we can just stack just the hands up, and we just let the forehead just rest just on the hands. Couple breaths in and out. We ease ourselves just up, just nice and slowly from there, everyone. Come back and onto all fours. Slide your weight back in, and we'll take the weight just in the left hand, or make sure you're just working the other side with this one. And we'll come into our weighted thread the needle. So the shoulders, they slide down and away, the back of the neck lengthens, the chin tucks in. From here, we take the hand on up towards the ceiling, we twist, we open, we stretch. Breathing out, we feed the hand through, around and under. As we send that hand under, we take that stretch. A breath in again. Here we open, hand comes up and towards ceiling. Breathing out, we feed through and under, taking that little twist. Breath in again, we open on up. Stretch up towards the ceiling, stretch hand up. Breathing out, rotate and twist. Next one's your last one. We follow the hand up towards the ceiling, we stretch, we open. Breathe out, we relax, release. Hand comes through and under. And we then settle the hand, comes back just to center, and we roll back just into our, onto our heels. Take a couple little rolls just up top, maybe just release just the neck. And from here, we're going to take ourselves down and onto tummies. We are going to start just on tummies, and just by taking, if you've got a little head cushion, if you've got a little pillow or a towel, just to kind of the top of the mat, so that when you come down and come into lying, you've got a little bit of support just at your forehead, so that your nose doesn't get kind of squashed or squished on the mat. We're going to start off with the hands in a little fork shape this evening. So think about the kind of arms and the head like the three little prongs on a fork. Head drops down and it just rests the shoulders slide away from ears and the palms, they turn down. I'm going to just turn my head to the side a little so you can hear me better, but you keep your heads lovely and long. From here, we're going to work both arms together. We take a little breath in and breathing out, we squeeze the shoulders together and we're going to lift the arms up a couple of inches off of the mat. And then we relax, release and lower and drop them. Again, we squeeze and we lift. We relax, release and drop down. Squeeze and lift. Release and drop down. We let both arms move together and they move here a little like a set of wings. We let the shoulder blades squeeze towards the center of the spine as the hands lift and we control the lower down. We lift and we lower. Lift and lower. Last one, we're going to lift up and hold. 3, 2, 1, and relax and release and just drop down. Keep your body just nice and flat, just down and just on the mat. We come into a second set, which is really similar. We have the option, if you prefer, just to stick with the exercise we've just done, just the simple lift and lower. But if you feel ready for a little bit more of a challenge, from here this evening, we're going to lift the forehead with the arms and the upper body lifts as well. We take a little squeeze and a little hold and we then relax, release and drop back down. Again, a squeeze and a lift. We peel up and off of the mat. We hold and we relax, release and drop down. Squeeze and lift. We hold. Relax, release and drop down. We've got 3 more as we are here. Squeeze, create that length through the back of the neck. The chin stays tucked in. Whole back body works. A little bit of squeeze from glutes before we release. We've got 2. And we release. And we're going to lift this next one up. We're going to hold up top. Hold here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we relax, release, drop on down. Just become nice and relaxed just on the mat. Catch the breath with a couple of breaths in and out. We are staying down and on tummies for the next one, but we're going to slide the arms just long, just down, just by our side, and we're going to let the palms come up to the ceiling. This little one is a little bit of a blend of a couple of exercises, but not one that I think that any of us will have done before, certainly even in just the last few weeks. Have a little peek at this one or just feel free to join in following along. It's a little bit of coordination, but once you've got the kind of rhythm of the exercise, it should be quite a kind of comfy, nice one. We're going to start kind of flat. We let the head just turn just to one side if we can. If it's more comfortable to let that pillow slide away and bring your cheek just onto your mat or onto the floor, feel free to do so. We start relaxed. We start by bending the knees and we curl heels in towards bottom and we're taking like a little kind of double pulse. 1, 2. As we straighten the legs back out, we lift the upper body up and off of the mat. We lift the hands, we slide the hands in and we become like a little kind of dart, really lifted and really long. And then we let the head drop down to other side, body drops down, heels come in, we pulse 1, 2, and we lengthen the legs out. We've become really long through the top half of the body. Head rotates on around. Heels come into bottom. We pulse again. 1, 2. Legs slide out. Upper body lifts. Return, rotate down. Heels come up. Pulse. 1, 2. Lengthen out. Take that dart. Slide on over other side. Pulse. 1, 2. Lift on up. Little pause in the center, control the rotation of the head, pulse 1, 2, glide on up, we hold, rotate on down, one more each side, pulse, pulse, we lift on up, we hold, little drop back down, pulse, pulse. Now we come back up to center, meeting in the center, we hold here, lifted, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we relax and release and just let everything drop down. Take a couple of breaths just on the mat. Just let everything settle here. Lovely bit of work for kind of whole body there, working really nice to keep kind of a spinal extension and lots of postural work in that last exercise. Now the hands, they slide either side of shoulders. We take a little lift through the chest. We take ourselves just into a little rounded spine, almost like we're taking just that little cat, and then we slide just gently and softly, just the hips back onto the heels to take that little stretch in our little cat and into shell. And then we can just relax just in a comfy child's pose. We drop back, we hold just in child's pose, let tummies just go completely. Take a couple of bigger breaths in and out. We're then going to keep the hips just down and just on the heels, but we're going to walk the hands around and towards one side. So we're staying down and in our child's pose, but we're taking a slight slide so that we really feel the stretch down through one side of the body. Couple of big breaths in and out. We walk the hands back through center, around and over to the other side. Couple breaths in and out. Hands walk back through center, and we slowly bring ourselves just up. We take ourselves from our seat just down and just onto one side. Now we're not going to need bands tonight for this little series, so we'll go kind of bandless and we'll work on glutes without any resistance tonight. Find little pillows. If you've got a little flatter pillow, double it over to make a little sandwich. Bottom arm slides out, and we just really make sure that the neck is really well supported here by just kind of scooping that pillow down and letting head just rest just on bottom arm. Shoulders just wherever feels most comfortable. We've set ourselves up here so that we're really nicely stacked in a real perfect kind of classic clam. We've got the heels, the hips and the shoulders in a real kind of straight line. Top hand comes onto the top of the hip, and take that little kind of extra kind of lengthening. Think about the kind of if you've got brass kind of strap and the waistband, and think about creating an extra little inch between the two, or creating just a bit extra length down that top side. That might have just allowed the bottom waist to lift a little, and if that's the case, that's perfect. A really light little bit of core, but just enough that you're kind of not completely relaxed. You've just got a bit of kind of activity there. We are going to start this evening by pressing and sending that long leg down nice and long just towards the bottom of the mat, or towards kind of the wall that would be at the foot. And we're going to take a leg kick. We kick forward with the toe. Now we flex and drive back with the heel. Some of us will be used to working with this one with a little kind of a resistance band. Now, although the band does make life a little harder in some ways, tonight we are working with the weight of the leg. Sometimes the band can kind of help us out a little from that respect. So we are working tonight just on kind of leg strength alone, by sliding out and gliding back. Now, to make sure we're activating in all the right places, we can slide that top hand into like your imaginary back pocket, and feel that kind of squeeze of that glute against the pan as you drive that heel back. Kicking for an imaginary penalty kick, slide forwards and drive back. Or almost imagine yourself kind of polishing the top of a glass table with that leg, so we keep really level as we slide out and as we come back. We work just as we're able to control. Make sure as you drive that heel back, we don't let the back kind of buckle and we're not moving, we're keeping everything steady. Last one, we kick forwards, we drive back, we hold. Now we hold the leg out long, keep the foot flat, and we're going to take a little leg circle here. So what I like to imagine with this one is that I've popped a magic marker in between my big toe and my second toe, and we're creating just a really perfect circle on the wall furthest away from us. So it's like we're drawing a perfect circle with the foot. The bigger the circle, the harder it is to control, but don't be too ambitious and kind of end up rolling. Try and keep everything still really stable. Good. Doesn't matter how big that circle, as long as you feel that you've got your control. You can push it a little if you want, just to kind of challenge yourself this evening. And then we change direction. Same circle, we're just tracing around us in the other direction. Now we should all start to feel kind of outer hip kind of working. We will get a little bit of that kind of powerful glute max, which is the kind of bulk of the muscle, but we're utilizing the kind of top stabilizers here as well. We've got 2 more. We've got last one, and we settle with that leg out long. Little finisher, we are not quite done with those hips yet. We are going to turn the toes up towards the ceiling and drop back down. It's a little like you were kind of cleaning a window. Imagine having a little sponge sandwich between that foot and a bit of glass, and you're just creating and just cleaning just a little space as we turn up and as we lower. That whole thigh should rotate, so if you have a peak down to your kneecap, should kind of lift and lower, and you should feel a little opening and release at the hip. We twist and release. We've got 3. We've got 2. We've got last one, and we relax and release, and we can give that hip a good rub. From wherever we are, we just give that hip a little rub, and then we just look to collect just the ankle or take a hold of legging or kind of jogger, and we just make sure that we get a bit of heel connection with the kind of bottom, and then we're going to drive just that knee back, and we're just going to hold just in a lovely thigh stretch. So we should feel that stretch down through the front of the thigh. Most of us should kind of feel it kind of middle. To make that stretch a little more, think about kind of pressing your kind of hip, your front pocket forwards, as though you're trying to kind of slide or iron out any creases. If that feels really quite tight, you can always use your little band as a little kind of hook around the foot to help get that foot up and into bottom. And we just hold just that stretch here. Couple of big breaths in and out. We use that breath out to try and create a little bit more space. And then we just relax, release, just let that leg just go a little shake for me just from there. Pop yourself up, everyone, and come on to your bottom, just into your long seat. So we're going to come up this evening, kind of right up and onto sit bones, and I'm going to offer the kind of option this evening of taking one of your little single weights kind of with you. I'm kind of working with 1 kilo. I think that's probably enough for this next one, but see how you get on. You might want to make yourself work a little bit harder, but certainly I would start around about the kind of kilo mark. We're going to kind of walk the heels in a little closer just towards bottom, so that you're kind of right up and just on the kind of edges just of those sit bones. We're going to take the weight just out and just in front of the chest as we do a little bit of work on a weighted roll back. We start with a breath in, breathing out, we really let the bottom of the spine go as we kind of arch and round and become that kind of C shape. And then we slide and drop ourselves back and down, The weight stays in front of the chest. We should feel this working through tummy, maybe a little shake or a jitter. And then we pull up through tummy to come back up and come up tall. Shoulders again, they stay down and away from ears. Breath in. Breathing out really round through the back. So we then drop back, feeling just that little bit of connection to the core. Go as low as you feel comfortable. And then work and pull coming all the way up. Now, if you are quite happy with roll back, we're going to make this a little harder. If not, stay there. We drop on back down. If you've reached that little tough point, you can then bring yourself up. If you want to go a little more, let's drop ourselves all the way down tonight, folks. Make sure we keep a hold of that weight. We let the head come just to rest back down and on the mat. Weight up above chest to ceiling. And then we breathe out to curl. Now, as the chin reaches the chest, we curl, we lift, we peel, we come up and we come onto sit bones. That might feel a little tough if you're just getting into things. Might feel a little bit tough if you're postnatal as well. So you can always just drop back and work on up. A couple more, either option, just that half roll back or starting to work yourself a little bit more by coming into that full roll back. Really work on controlling down. And then breathing out to come up. It's almost like with this one, you want to imagine that somebody is taking a little slow motion video of you. You are in kind of absolute control. Glide down. And work back up. We're going to make our next one our last one. Wherever we are, let's drop back. Let's hold at halfway. Hold here, core engaged. If you've got the weight, this will feel a little tough. But we're going to slide the arms up and above the head, a little shake. Oh, welcome that tonight. And then let those hands drop down and in front of the chest again. Breathing out, we slide that weight on up. Little judder, little shake, feeling that core work. And drop back down. And we've got last one here. Slide on up, feel a little shake. Oh. Hands come down and we glide on up, everyone. Weight comes down. Oh, we can catch the breath. I can't hear, I can't see or can't hear you, but I know that we're feeling that all working in the core as well. So take a little flip on over when you're ready onto the other side. So come on over, come on to the other side, and we'll get ourselves set up. Quite nice to lie down just for a little minute, but not for long before we start to work again. So come on down, become really comfy, find that real classic clam shape. Hand on that top hip again, create that little bit of space again for me, just down the top side of the waist. We're really nicely stacked. When we are ready, we take just that little press of that leg long down and away. And we begin now by kicking forward with that toe and driving back with the heel. Sliding on forwards, drawing on back, feeling that we get that kind of connection with the big, powerful kind of glute max. Sounds like that kind of big, kind of muscular kind of chunk of the bottom. It's all one big muscle, and we really want to activate it and feel it work as we drive that heel back and slide on forwards. Really comfy down and on our side. Imagine as we are working that that leg still stays nice and long. Don't let that waist collapse as we work. Good. Slide on forwards. Glide on back. Slide on forwards. Glide back. We've got 3. Come on back. We've got 2. Come on back. We've got last one, then just to take that leg just lovely and long. Keep that foot nice and flat, a little circle. So creating just that circle, swimming kind of round and at the hip joint, lifting, dropping down and forwards. Good. Unloaded, we're in absolute control of that leg, and we don't have our bands that we sometimes use with this one to help take the weight off the leg. Good. We control and drop down. Lovely work. Keep this going, keep working into glutes. We've got 3. We've got 2. We've got last one. And we change direction. change direction, keeping that circle. Imagine you were tracing just that same little line. Lift up, glide back, drop down. Great stuff, everyone. Move it 3. Move it 2. We take that last one just to settle that leg just completely long. From here, we take that little sweep of the toes up to ceiling and we slowly drop down. Little sweep toes come up and we drop down. Sweep up, drop down. We're really activating the outer hip. Great stuff. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, leg long. 3, 2, 1, drop down. That's on everyone. That little rub, just congratulate that glute. It's worked hard for us. We hold just on our side, just to even up just that stretch. So we collect again, just that heel, popping it up and against kind of bottom. Again, if you're a little short, little band, or hang on to kind of legging or a bottom of jogger. Create that connection, take that knee back as far as we feel able, and then press that hip forward. So again, imagine that kind of little crease that you can maybe feel just in the front, just of the hip. Imagine your front pocket sitting there and trying to just flatten or iron that out. So you draw back and you feel that stretch. Front of thigh and a little into hip flexor here as well. Breathing out to try and create a bit more length, a little bit more space. A couple more breaths in and out. And then we let that leg just go. Just relax, release a little kind of wriggle just to ease it out. If you're coming onto backs from here, we use and we'll want the head pillows. So take that and little pillow kind of down, remembering buns, ponytails, clasp clips. Oh, I'm in a knot. Take them just out and just away so that the back of the head can come on just to the mat itself. We're not kind of balancing on top of anything. We're taking a little bit more work just for the core here, just to finish things off this evening. And we'll just make sure that we've kind of found just our kind of nice, kind of comfortable, kind of grounded and rooted position just down and just on our mat. We let the hip bones feel level, and we're just aware that our points of contact, so that the back of the head is really well supported. The shoulder blades supported, back of the ribs are supported, pelvis is supported, and the feet, they're just grounded just down and just onto the mat. We're going to start with the arms just dropping just down and just by our side. When you're ready, we're going to come up straight away into a single leg tabletop this evening. And we're going to take our single leg extension out and into one leg slide and drop back in. Drop on down, we'll alternate this evening to make this a little trickier. Because when we alternate, we've kind of got to watch the kind of balance of that pelvis, and we're going to use the core to keep things nice and steady. Make sure when we've engaged the core, we're looking for that kind of 30 to 50% worth of effort. It should feel that we've got a little bit of engagement. If you're wanting to check that, feel free to keep fingers there. And working in from those two bony points and a little kind of underneath your kind of waistband, you should feel that you've got a little bit of activity. As we slide one leg out and draw one leg in, it becomes a little reactive, and we should feel that we've got a little bit of tension there. Good. Breathing out to lengthen out. In to come in. Out to go out. In to come in. Last one, lengthening out. Drawing back down. And we come back down to rest. We have the option to make this a little harder and to add in weight. So we're going to take the hand weights, if you want to use them this evening, just above the chest. Hang on tight, no concussions, no black eyes. We keep a hold of the weights, and we're going to do a little exercise. We're going to use the kind of same legs, but we're going to make it a little bit more challenging from up top. What we are going to do is we are going to take that leg back up into the single leg tabletop. And first option is that we just slide the arms down and by our side. We hover them just a couple of inches off the mat and we draw back in, drop down. Other side works. We glide out and drop in. That doesn't change things kind of too much. You will feel when the hands come down a couple of inches just off of the mat that the core will kind of tension and tighten a little. If you're quite happy working here and want to make things a little tougher, we take a slightly different version. As we slide the leg out, we chop the hands down, but we curl the top half of the body off of the mat, look down towards those toes, and we drop the head back down. A little bit trickier if you've got kind of any neck kind of issues at the moment. You might not love this one, or you might find that you can do a couple, but then need to take just a rest, and that's fine. If this is working really well for you this evening, and you want just to push yourself just that little bit harder, we are going to take a double tabletop version. Both legs into tabletop. We slide one leg out as we chop those hands down, but we control coming back in. Now with every version, make sure at that longest point the back doesn't kind of pop up off the mat. We want to keep control with the core as we chop down and as we slide in. If arms are getting a little tired, if you want to, we can always just ditch the weight, and we do this one without weight. We've got lots of options as well. A little harder when we're up and in double tabletop as well for the head and neck. So if that needs just a little couple of reps just to rest, feel free to allow it. Good. We have one more each pair. And we relax, release, drop on down, knees come into chest, and we take a little rock here, just side to side. Massage that lower back just onto the mat. Let just the core go as we take that breath in. Tummy lifts, expands, there's no tension. Breathing out. When we are ready from here, we are going to take ourselves just into one little final kind of finishing off kind of exercise. Again, we've got a couple of options and we'll build them up to our most kind of challenging last of all. I'm just going to take a little slight slide just so that I have to show you this one. We're going to take the arms out to kind of like a T shape kind of on the floor off of your mat. The back of the head stays nice and long, the heels stay together, the toes stay together. Option one is to take this a little level two, where we let the knees drop down to one side and we twist and we turn, we look over the other shoulder. Feeling first of all just a really nice stretch when we just hold. But then we want to feel as though that long side of the body is like a little bit of elastic. And that elastic is then going to recoil and draw those heavy knees back to center as we engage the obliques. Other side, knees drop over, really nice long kind of stretch, we hold. And then again, like that little bit of elastic, the knees draw back up and into center. Stick with that if you enjoy the stretch and if it feels like that's enough for you this evening. Option three is to take us up and into a tabletop, but we let the knees and the heels sandwich together. We do exactly the same action, but we've just got heavier knees as we drop on over. Feels like a bit of a deeper stretch. Head's heavy, we hold here. And then it's a little bit harder work to draw those heavy knees back up to center and to find tabletop. Working to the other side, drop on down and over. And we scoop on up. Now, if that has felt both comfortable with those options so far, and you want a little bit more, little weight comes in and between the knees. Be careful that it's well sandwiched in between the shin bones. And we take a slide. You can see that little weight and kind of nice sandwich between my knees. Just be careful that we don't let that weight go. And then we draw back up. Interesting how just a little weight can make that one a lot harder and a lot tougher, and it's lovely work for the obliques and the central core. Drop down and we scoop on up. Whatever level we are working on, we have worked hard to really recruit and engage the obliques. dropping down, drawing back up. Make your next one your last one, wherever you are. And we settle with the knees in the center. If you've got that little weight, just kick it out. And from wherever we are, we just bring those legs then just back, just down, just to the ground, just on that. Right leg draws up and in towards the chest, and the heel from the right leg drops onto the left thigh. Press a little on the inside of that right knee to open up through the front of the pelvis, but you might want to hold that, might feel enough for you this evening. If you want, you then draw the left leg up to make that a little deeper. Hang and hold back in your figure of four. Couple of big breaths in and out. And then we just relax, release, just let the leg go and drop down. And just cross just at the legs. We draw just that left knee then up, other side comes up, heel drops over, and we press again just to open up. When we're ready, we then just scoop, just lift, just draw up and towards us, head drops back, we hold. Couple breaths in and out. And then when we're ready, we just relax, release, just drop those legs, just on down. Just find just a really comfy position and lying. Just let the body feel as it's sinking just into your mat, into the floor. Knees can come together, heels can drop out a little. The soles of the feet can touch, the knees drop out. Or we can let those legs stretch out just long, just down, just to the bottom of the mat. Wherever we're most comfy, we just hang, we just hold, we just let ourselves go completely. As we focus on just letting tummies go. Breath in through the nose, allow that tummy just to expand up and towards you. Rib cage expands. Breathing out feels free and easy. Big breath in. Breathing out. When you're ready, but there is no rush to do so. Just roll, just wrist and ankle with the fingers and toes. We come just up, just so that the knees are bent, the feet are grounded, and the hands just drop just down just by your side. Couple breaths in and out before we just ease the knees just down and just onto our side. We roll on over onto the side. Take a little moment before we ease ourselves just up and just into a seat. Come up and into sitting just in our most comfortable position just in our seat. Shoulders, they slide just down and just away from ears. Kneeling cross-leg, long sit, or having a seat just in the chair beside you. Interlocking the hands just in front of the chest. Breathe out as we spread the hands away. Shoulder blades slide apart. Glide up forwards. We then send the hands from here just up and towards the ceiling. We lengthen the stretch. Come on up top. We take a little side slide down into one side. We come back up then through center. We drop one down over to other side. Come back up through center. We stretch, we lengthen. We just unlock just the hands. We turn the palms out. Little nerve slide. So drop them down. And just let the hands just turn, just face up, just in the lap, shoulders soft. The ear just drops down just to the shoulder. head is heavy. We let the chin roll down to the chest, back of the neck is long and slowly uncurl. Head comes on up. Other side when you're ready. Ear drops down to shoulder, head is heavy. And then we let just the chin just drop down and just to the chest, and then slowly uncurl, peel back up, head lifts. And we are all done by this evening, everyone. The whole body's worked. Should feel quite good, but hopefully feel quite relaxed and heavy. If there's any questions, as always, just drop me a little line. But it's been lovely having you all working away with us this evening.